If only looks could kill, this knife would be awesome. So today we're looking at our second Kizer cutlery knives that we've ever reviewed here at the channel. Picked this one up over at Blade HQ. This is the Kizer Bolt. I got it on one of their sales. It was going for about $41, I believe is what I paid for it. I think the normal going rate is between $60 and $70, just depends on, you know, color combinations and availability and all that. We will have links in the description below, not only over to Blade HQ, but also over to Amazon. We've just recently started an affiliation program with Blade HQ, which is awesome, great guys over there. So when you guys use those hyperlinks as well, helps me get out there, purchase knives just like what you see here today, so I can give you guys full comprehensive videos. So thank you again for supporting the channel in that way. So I purchased this knife because it just looks so sick. I mean, it's got a fuller, it's got that harpoon design, black on gray. I mean, just super, super cool design. And that's what really connected with me. And when it was on sale, I was just like, I gotta pick this blade up. And so I had high expectations, but throughout this video, you're gonna see that there's a lot of minute details that I believe make this knife fall short in a lot of different tasks, as well as just, you know, fit and finish and different quality. Now, through your viewing of this video, you may decide, hey, this is exactly up my alley, this is what I need, but I want to point these things out to you and show you why, if only it was as good as it looked, I would love this knife. So let's go ahead, dive into the Bolt and see what it has to offer. So, I love that harpoon with that awesome fuller design right there. That's why I bought this knife. I mean, it just looked so sick, and it was at a great price point over at Blade HQ. Again, normal running rate, I believe, is between $60 and $70. Again, links below. So really, really cool styling. And that's what I'm seeing from Kizer with a lot of their designs. It's just super unique that a lot of other companies are not doing at this price point by any means. I mean, this kind of looks like a custom folder, you know, that you could, you know, easily charge like $300, $400, $500 for. But, you know, you're getting this for under $100. We are looking at that VG10 steel, which is what Kizer usually uses on their, you know, introductory line of blades. VG10 is like 154 cm. It's a good middle steel. It's much better than, say, AUS 8 or HCR, but it's not quite at the level of, say, S30V and S35VN and just some of those other, you know, steels that are now out there. It's really rust resistant, easy to put an edge on, and pretty easy to tune up. This comes with a hollow grind. It is a shorter hollow grind that only goes up about halfway of the distance of that. I mean, it's a harpoon, you know, with like a really thick swedge into that, you know, like drop point, almost spear point tip right there. Good strong tip, good strong overall blade with a maximum thickness back here of 0.13. So on the beefier side, over 1/8 of an inch, just slightly. And really what I saw with the 3.5 inches overall and a 3 1/4 cutting edge, a good sweep there, was that I was not super impressed with the slicing capability of the knife. It's really thick and has a short hollow grind. So when it came to like cardboard slicing and you know, thinner material that you're gonna be slicing through a lot, I wasn't impressed. It tended to bind up right here in the fuller area, and you really had to put some force on it because of the short grind and the thicker blade. So that was something that I just wasn't super impressed with. When it came to harder tasks, like obviously stabbing, going through like rubber, the nylon, you know, rope and all that type of stuff, no problem, absolutely did without issue. It's more of like the EDC side of use. Was not impressed with this knife. So if you were gonna carry this like everyday EDC, I really wouldn't, it wouldn't be my first choice. If you're like, yeah, I'm gonna carry it around the range and around the job site, you know, and I'm gonna be going through rubber and hoses and cordage and, you know, stabbing and prying, then that's really where the performance was in this design, not with your average EDC task. It just isn't laid out for that. So they have several patterns and color combinations for this knife. Some really cool like red and grays and blacks even. This one is that black G10. You can see though just that cool contouring, not only of the handle, making the handle body very ergonomic. We're going to talk about how that plays in with the pocket clip in a minute. But good ribbing here. You know, it's not squared off, it's rounded, which is super nice, really nice contouring and just a cool look. You know, it's not just like a flat, you know, G10 or, you know, Zytel type of a thing. So nice G10 there. We've got the steel liners in there with that flow-through construction. One side of those liners have been milled out, making this weigh in at 4.6 ounces. So for the big, you know, beefy blade and just overall design, this actually is a little bit on the lighter side. I was expecting it to be more like 5 ounces. So the fact that it comes in about 4.5 is really nice to see that. I wear large size gloves, as you guys know, and it fills out my hand with plenty of room to spare, maximum thickness being 0.55. So it's a beefy, you know, pocket clip or a pocket knife that's 4.5 inches overall length. So it's definitely going to take up a lot of real estate in your pocket, but you're getting really beefy handle to grip onto. So those of you with larger hands that like a lot of real estate on your pocket knives, this is really going to give it to you. So that's nice to see. We got that milled G10 jimping right there. Zero complaints, nice and flat. Really nice deep finger groove right there. So I mean, you're locked into place. You could definitely, you know, a tactical type of folder, you know, you could absolutely do that type of grip and it would give that to you. One thing to note is that you're pretty far away from the blade, the cutting edge, so your ergonomics, it has like this double ricasso here. So I don't know how I feel about that. You know, you could literally almost choke up on that. I would have liked to just see that a little bit closer. So your control for the finer stuff is a little bit limited. So that is something to consider when you are looking at the knife. All right, so here we are looking at the pocket clip. Tip up, tip down, righties only. Lefties, you're out of luck, I'm sorry. For that, I would love to have seen that. I don't really see why there would be any reason why they couldn't. The liners are on either side. They could have easily done at least one over here to give you guys an option there, because the thumb studs and just the cutouts look totally ambidextrous there. So hopefully Kizer will do some changes in the future with some of their models with that. Now, my complaint is that this is an obnoxious pocket clip, and it's really one of the big problems that I have just overall with its ergonomics because of how high it cuts out and then cuts back in, and that loop really just causes pain. It causes sharp pain in your pocket, and in your hand, and just doesn't really feel comfortable when you're bearing down on the knife. I mean, we look at, here's another Kizer, this is the bigger, much more flush, you know, slim. This thing is much larger and obnoxious. You can just see that right there. So don't dig it. I don't. The ride is good in the pocket. It is satin, so you know it's going to be flashy compared to the whole rest of the knife is blacked out, both the blade and the handle. So that's going to definitely stand out against your clothing and that type of thing, which I'm not a big fan of either, but it's just not, I don't like it. I don't dig it, and it is really a drawback to the overall ergonomics. You feel it all the time when you're bearing down on the knife. So deployment, we got these really nice thumb studs. You know, the handle's been milled down, they stand off, they're not sharp, very easy to engage. And then we have bronze phosphorus bushings in there, which means that this thing just flies. For the big blade that it is, it whips open every single time. Really dig that a lot. The thumb studs hit into the body to kind of stop it there because it does not hit this back pin here. So this is not a stop pin like most knives. The handle, the thumb studs, which you will see from time to time, act as that stop pin up into that handle. So that's kind of how that works. Liner lock, nice thick liner lock, but you'll see here that is not 100% on the back of the blade, and I'm not digging that. I don't like that aspect of it. It's solid. I haven't had any wiggling, wobbling. You know, it's got really solid lockup, up, down, right, you know, left, all that. No issues, but I just like to see 100% lockup, and I'm not. So would I trust this thing? Yes, for a liner lock and for all the basic EDC tasks, yes. Would I, you know, trust it for more heavy duty, hard, tactical, quote unquote, you know, bearing down, whatever? That's up to you. I'm not 100% sold on that, and I would have liked to see that over about another 2 millimeters. That's just me. That's what I would want to see, and I don't really feel like I'm nitpicking. I almost always see that on every single other liner lock that I own, that it's at least 100% on, and then usually it's a little bit more center. So just not really digging that. It's easy to disengage. I don't know if, again, that was just my knife model or if that's how all of them are, but for me, that was a big concern and just not really digging that. So that is the deployment and lockup on the bolt. Deployment is fine, lockup I'm not super stoked about. So there you have it, folks. That's my opinion on the blade. I think it is a good like utility tactical knife, but that's about where it stops. And I think for the majority of the users out there, you're looking for more EDC. But if you want something to stab bad guys or cut through rubber, this knife will do the job and looks cool doing it. So I hope this video has really pointed you guys in the right direction on whether or not the bolt is the right knife for you. As always, thank you so much for coming over here and checking out this channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Join the conversation by putting some comments below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Do my best to respond to you guys and answer any questions that you may have. Check us out on all the relevant social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're always cranking out stuff every single week. You can see what is up and coming. And finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.